All right, good morning and welcome to Section 8 Consulting. It's a pretty nice Sunday afternoon, and by the time many of you watch the video, years may have passed. We never know. So it's 2022, the summer. Today we're going to be talking about Section 811. It's a very popular topic. And the second topic we're going to cover is Section 202. I wanted to make a comprehensive video. In other words, I wanted to make it break down all the information and simplify it, because the reality of it is the United States government, Congress, and all these people that write Code of Federal Regulation along with policies and procedures infer the idea of writing these really long explanations that are just simply not relevant to the average person that might be reading along. So today we're going to be talking about that. As a few introductions starting the video, I am the owner of Section8Consulting.com, as you can see on the screen. And I'll give a quick scroll through so y'all can see what we offer and what we do. So we got about 21 years and served about 15,000 clients, about 800 landlords, around 8,000 vouchers, and our success rate floats around 91%. So that means on an honest level, we fail about 10% of the time. You'd have a better time blowing your money in casino, maybe getting drunk there, rather than hiring our company. But the reality is, if you're going to offer services to people, you need to be able to tell the truth, okay? So that's our attempt. And here we are. And you can learn all about this, and I'll include the links to all of this in the comments section as well as in the description of the video. Now let's move on. Now what I've done, for those of you that have a hard time seeing, I know I'm going to be dealing with a lot of people that have disabilities and seniors that are very curious about the topic. I put all of my thoughts essentially on a Word document. So let's take a look at that, and I've done a larger print to make it easier. I'm going to condense my little video here to make sure we can read along. So what is a Section 8? Section 8 supportive housing for persons with a disability, and it's a disability program. The funding to develop subsidized rental properties with the availability of supportive services for the very low income or extreme low income. Now, believe it or not, there is a distinction between very low income and just low income, okay? But I'm not going to get too deeply into that. Eligibility, or basically, is under PRAC, and households must be very low income, meaning 50% of the median income for the area. For those that don't know, they call those fair market rents and ARMs and many other things. So now I'm going to go on and, I think that a lot of you need to digest some of the information on the legal part of this for Section 811, okay? Now, when you go to the Housing Authority, Section 811 is not a voucher. It is simply a system of funding that would allow a landlord that has a tax credit property to allow you to apply, and then they, in turn, apply for your funding, meaning you do not need a voucher. So this is a subsidy, better known as a tax credit property, affordable housing, and low-income housing. It's not necessarily Section 8 vouchers, okay? Legal aspects. Let's get into that real quick. So the program is authorized for Section 811 under the National Affordable Act of 1990. That's PL 101-625. It was amended by the Housing and Community Development Act of 1992. That's PL 102-550, and the Rescission Act 104-19. And there's many other different acts, okay? So I would say screenshot that, and if you'd like to investigate the true totality of the law, you'd probably be in for reading 4,000 or 5,000 pages, okay? Now we're going to get into Section 202. And by the way, let's just go back to 811 real quick. If you are 18 years old, all the way up to the age of 61, you can apply at the Housing Authority to get a voucher, or you may attempt to go to a subsidy property. So where are these subsidy properties? I'm going to pull one up for you, okay? And where do you find them? We go here, here, and here. So it's going to be affordablehousingonline.com. Now this is a federally mandated website, and it's a combination of Go Section 8 was merged into the site, and all of these are subsidies. You can search for them. In addition to those things there, they have apartments, Section 8 waiting lists, public housing waiting lists, and so on. You're just looking for the subsidy property. So any of you that are attempting to get a voucher or apply at a property that have a mental disability, that have a developmental or learning disability, or those of you that have a physical disability that are between the ages of 18 and 61 may go after 811 funding and apply to subsidy property, where the landlord may allocate 70 units to people that have a job and the other 30% to those of you that have those type of disabilities. Now, let's get on to Section 202. So, HUD provides capital advances to finance the construction and rehabilitation and acquisition of structures, in other words, properties, and these will serve as supportive housing for the very low income. In other words, fixed income, Social Security checks, survivor benefits, SSDI, SSA, SSB, and so on. Now, these affordable buildings, again, those are going to be an affordable housing online. And the Section 202 program helps expand the supply of affordable housing. So you see, it's a subsection. When you think of tax law, you have all these subsections. Like they may have subsection 5183. Well, Federal Code of Regulation for things that are related to HUD have the same kind of subsections, like subsection 202, subsection 811. And those sections are titles and acts that may fund both the landlord and then kind of describe the policies in which a person may be able to go to that property and receive those services, similar to what we're talking about now. I got to tell you, my throat's a little sore this morning, so you have to bear with me. So under that, Section 202 program helps expand the supply of affordable housing, is obviously clear, but the fundamental parts of this, it provides very low income, for the very low income elderly, meaning elderly age 62 for as old as you can get, and provides rent subsidies for projects to help them affordable, make them affordable. As such, it provides cleaning, cooking, transportation, and elect. So these are what we call wraparound services. You apply at a subsidy property and you're 62 and older, they don't just cover some of the rent there. They may also allocate all kinds of wraparound services. Now, you do not have to accept all those. You don't want Meals on Wheels? Tell them no. Okay? My recommendation is when people offer you things that are free, wraparound services, graciously accept, and then when you see their tail lights, throw the shit out, okay? Let's be honest. We don't always want everything that you can get for free. But it's never good to get into a regime of where you start denying a bunch of things, because eventually they'll just quit offering anything. Eligibility. So occupancy in a Section 202 housing, in other words, a subsidy property, affordable housing property, a low-income property. Let's make a distinction. We're not talking about project-based housing. We're talking about tenant-based housing. I know this is confusing for you guys, but, you know, the thing about it is we could talk in such detail, but I want to keep the video short, just kind of help you out. So under Section 202 of supportive housing for the elderly program, which was definitely authorized by the Act of 1959 under 12 UFC 1701, and then amended later, and amended many times. But the main thing you'd want to look up is Title 24. So Title 24 CFR Part 891. And again, you can screenshot this and look it up. So, summarizing